can see. So Snapfire gonna be the opening pick here by RR. Are we gonna call them RR or Reality Rift?
I think R is like the abbreviation.
It's just
Because Reality
easier.
Rift is like the Chaos Knight W. It's gonna be the Winter Wyvern for Army Geniuses, and actually playing the Clockwork Throw and Oracle. Clockwork is one of like Hustler's
Yeah, it's a very strong
pocket
hero right now, I think, because the hero is quite suitable of the way the meta is being played. You generally kind of want to have like a position 4 that can move around the map and set up kills, but at the same time you can use the cog. If you want to use cogs at level 1, it's not really that great in most cases, but sometimes you can use cogs to secure the offlaner's game for the first 1-2 minutes, and then you can get your level 2 from that and you start to roam. It's a bit like Earthshaker where you go to the offlane, you do the official block once or twice, and then you say bye to him, you're on your own, then you go gang the other lanes. And he's also very good at the mid game because he's a great initiator. He has a lot of damage, and just like overall doesn't need a lot of resources on a support, but you can do a lot as a support.
I mean, Army Genius is gonna pick that Underlord. Sometimes I have mixed feelings about Underlord because I personally feel that Underlord is a underrated hero,
Wow.
but I think that he is still kind of strong, but probably in certain situations. But I cannot pinpoint like when should Underlord be considered as a choice or an option for a draft.
Well, there's no situation here right now. They're just picking the hero because they want to pick the hero. But generally, you pick the hero when you have a need of a person that has to buy all the team items. Because Underlord is like one of the perfect persons to buy pipe, Crimson Guard, whatever you need
Yeah.
for the team. And secondly, he's also like a anti-carry hero because he reduces your damage with the aura. So heroes like PA, Lifestealer, you don't really have fun in the game when you're dealing with the aura itself. But he is not very good at the laning phase. He's very weak, and like this instance, Rubik is a very good response to Underlord because you get the Firestorm, which is a very great steal for Rubik.
Yep, RR with the Snapfire Ruby just instantly revealing that two supports, and Snapfire recently got the nerf, slight damage nerf, but I think Snapfire is still kind of one of the most versatile supports that
Reliable support.
reliable supports.
In some way that he gives you, okay, maybe not a very reliable stun in most cases, but still quite a strong stun, and he has a wave clear. So you nuke at the creep waves, you 2 of your spells, you get farm very quickly as a support, and on top of things, in team fight, you do a lot of damage. Even though it's nerf, but he still does.
He still does damage.
Yeah, he still does a lot of damage for a support, a position 5 support. So like overall, he's a generally reliable hero, and he's strong in the lane as well. That's what you want as a carry. You support being useful in the lane and allows you to farm.
And I think if relative Tiny Band and Army Genius taking out the Omni Knight. Maybe if we look back like at the first series quickly, where Adroid decided to go for like this Magnus Medusa and then into a Kunkka, where Magnus just went support. I feel like that is them out mind gaming themselves, but I don't know where to pinpoint. Like Magnus support is definitely out, but is there any reason to even go back to that Magnus support?
No, not sure though. I think Magnus is more suitable as a core because how they change the
Empower, right?
It's like a selfish spell right now in a lot of ways. So it's better that you use it on yourself and you do damage and farm with it. So I'm not really sure what's the idea behind having the Magnus as a support. Not a big fan of it either after the change. Right now we see the Monkey King and Tiny Ben from R. Monkey King ban probably for some kind of offlaner that they want to pick, that they want to protect the hero. And for Army Geniuses, they've chosen to ban out the Omni Knight and Slug. Slug is obviously one of the better laners against Underlord. And Omni is like right now quite a strong hero because of how Esther popularized it during Starlight. They've been picking him a lot early in the draft because they view it as just a very strong and useful hero. Because the meta right now is about buffing and saving the carries or making the carries strong. So I think the upcoming heroes would be like Shadow Demon, whatever Venge, whatever hero that gives you save for the carry protection and gives him more damage, like auras or buffs, whatever. I think it's gonna be relatively strong, and it's gonna be the upcoming trend right now.
Is Ogre going to be like in one of those hero pools?
I mean, they did try to pick Alliance pick Ogre a couple of games. It worked out okay, but the main difference with Ogre and the other heroes that I mentioned is Ogre is like you're just like a walking creep with Bloodlust. During team fights, you don't actually do much apart from being a tank. You kind of hope that the enemy go on you so your team can do damage during that period of time. But if you compare it to like a Venge or Shadow Demon, or even Instance Oracle, those heroes are very very useful in the team fight. They get to do a lot with their spells. So I feel like Ogre is maybe a replacement at somewhere down the road. If you don't get this so and so hero, then maybe Ogre comes to your mind, number 4, number 5, or you're really picking Ogre specifically to abuse the Bloodlust.
So Pango could be the next one for Army Geniuses. Could be.
It's a post 4. Should be post 4, or I mean it's still flexible if you want to put him mid, but generally that needs a specific matchup for it to happen, because Pango is a really weak laner. So in the mid lane you always get bullied against most of the heroes, unless it's like a melee hero, then maybe you can lane Pango, or like a weak laner like Medusa.
And RR with the Void. I actually just wanted to bring it up. Drew plays a substantial amount of Void as well. I think Void is one of his comfort picks. Those one of the strongest ultimates in the game as well. And like you, I think you did mention where the difference between good and mediocre carry is how they kind of come back into the game, right? And RR don't have that winning condition. I think that Chronosphere does provide a bit of insurance if they ever, if they ever get pushed to the back foot by Army Geniuses.
It's kind of good like with the Snapfire ultimate right now. I think that's the main reason they are picking it. And obviously it's also really good against Pangolier in the game and in the lane, but it's not that great against the Wyvern save. And it's I guess if you're relying on the Snapfire to do damage, the Cold Embrace could be somewhat negated. But the laning of the hero is not that strong. That's why I'm not really a big fan of the hero. Alliance picked the hero a lot the last couple of days, but a lot of times they didn't really do so well with it. Sometimes it's because he is always building Battle Fury. Some games I felt like Manta Diffuser could be a viable replacement because it's cheaper, depending on how the game is going. But right now, this is quite a decent hero against the Void Chronosphere, because you're pretty tanky and you have the shield to help your teammates. It's a hero that we didn't really see a lot recently. We saw one game at start of there, but it was particularly against Meepo.
Yeah, I think you can also Sven now also kind of builds Axe pretty frequently, right? You go for the Super Sven.
It's pretty useful for the hero. The Axe is definitely a nice change up compared to the old one.
The old Axe just gives everyone extra damage.
It's more of a support thing. Not for the core. Right now it's actually much better for the core. And Odie, hero that works really well with the Chronosphere as well. So the Void is not gonna be the win condition here. He's just like gonna be the utility hero. But if you play the Void that way, at the moment it's not as good as before, because you don't have the option to buy Axe early. Because it's gonna be about landing the Chrono so your team can do damage. But right now, because you don't have that cooldown reduction from Axe, it's actually not as good as before if you play in that role. So it's kind of gonna be a lot more greedier.
Yeah, I think Reality Rift have to kind of greed out for both the cores, right? You need to at least have one that has a decent lane. I believe yesterday they played the Phoenix in the off-lane role. So Army Geniuses, they respect the KRXY Phoenix and they ban it out.
Oh, he still has like some Conka that goes well with the Chrono. I'm not sure if he plays Elder Titan, but I'm pretty sure he plays Conka. Other options would be
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, Centaur is not that great with we saw a lot of Centaur last few days, but I don't think it's that great with the Chrono. Could be great lane partner with the Rubik, because you can live into Storm, so you have a lot of kill potential. and it does provide you with escape with the Stampede.
Yeah, I think for RR, they're just looking for probably
If
a
you,
mid.
I mean, if you wanna discuss, oh, you think that the Void could be an off lane?
But wouldn't that be greedy? Like if they put Void off and
Yeah, it's quite greedy. I'm thinking maybe like he plays some disgusting hero like Veno to annoy the Sven.
this Van.
Yeah,
I think Venom would be okay. They ban out the Pug now.
yeah, because of the
kind of
OD, yeah, the OD and the Chronosphere. Panga's great against those two.
Or with the last pick, Venom off lane.
10 seconds remaining.
I
Because
mean, if they want to go for a normal hero, that's gonna be
5
like
seconds
Beastmaster. It
remaining.
gives them like some stun, some damage, some aura.
yeah, so also great against the Sven as well.
Yeah, that's like a normal. You can't really go that wrong. But the laning won't be that. I don't think the lane will be that great because Sven is great at dealing with the ball in the laning phase with the splash damage. But it will definitely be useful in the game because you can stop the Pangol's ultimate with the stun.
Okay, it's going to be a Kunkka for the off lane most likely.
It gives them a very balanced draft because Kunkka provides them with another secondary stun catch, and it does have a lot of synergy with the Chronosphere. And it gives you somewhat a semi-safe as well with the boat. If they're going to go on the OD, say they start the fight with a curse on the OD and they try to follow up with a Pangoro, you could maybe use the boat to try and save your teammates. So overall, just like a useful hero.
I think, yeah, it's also one of those calls where you can just like dominate the lane and transition late. Like,
Choose your
but
hero.
Army Genius is gonna go for the Huskkiee. I was expecting the Huskkiee pick to come out in the previous series, but yes, Army Genius will bring it out.
Yeah, because none of their heroes can lane against Huskkiee. It's actually a pretty legit pick here. OD loses his lane. If you play correctly, OD doesn't really do well against Huskkiee. Most likely you're gonna lose your lane. And you can't really switch your other heroes to the mid lane. The Kunkka and the Void can't nobody can lane against Huskkiee, basically. So he's gonna have to try to maybe jungle, get to level 3 and start to jungle.
I think Huskkiee is just looking to kind of like snowball the
Yep.
game, right?
But that's the only win condition. I think the side lanes, all the side lanes are going to be very difficult for Army Geniuses because they have like weaker lanes. Pango and Underlord, that's not going to be that
10
great of a
seconds
lane.
remaining.
They're going to be up against like a Snapfire. Void is not a great laner, but Snapfire is a great laner. And the other lane would be Sven plus Wyvern against Rubik plus Kunkka. Then again, Rubik and Kunkka is going to be stronger duo. So they're going to have a harder time on the side lanes. So it's going to be relying on this Huskkiee to win his lane and snowball the game.
Yeah, I think that also kind of sets like for KYX, or at least on the Kunkka. I think are we expecting like a Vessel Kunkka
Yeah,
just because like
probably.
there's a
He's
Huskkiee?
going to just buy all the utility items, whatever they need. Vessel is great this game because of the Wyvern and the Huskkiee. Then maybe he can go for the Solar Crest, which is also good this game against the Huskkiee. Or you use it to buff your teammates, the Void or the OD. Or you could also go for like Pipe, which is great against the Huskkiee, the damage, but not so great against the Sven. Just basically you can buy anything if you wish to, depending on how the game is turning out.
But like, how do you? Actually, I have this question I've been thinking for quite a while. How do you decide whether you go for Solar Crest or Heaven's Halberd?
Oh, Halberd is also a great option actually. It all depends on the game though, because Halberd is more about. I think when you're having a better game, you want to get Halberd because it gives you stats and it makes you stronger and you can disable the carry. But when the game is so, Solar Crest is better because of the build up. It's cheaper to buy the small items and gives you some some mana regen, and it does help you do Roshan. Halberd doesn't really help you do
Prepare for
Roshan.
battle.
If you look at their lineup doesn't really do Roshan that well. I mean, unless Void has a lot of items. So if you have the Medallion or the Solar Crest, it does help you do Roshan. Those are the difference between those two items.
Yep, slight issue right there. We're gonna have that fixed. But I think for this game one, because yesterday Reality Wave against Motivate Trust, they had a closer best of 3 compared to Motivate Trust against Adroid just now. I feel like game 2 and game 3 were complete stomp. What would be the win condition for both of these teams with that draft?
Like I said, it's gonna be for Dire. It's gonna be the Huskkiee, because they're gonna have a lot of trouble in the side lanes, and for Radiant, it's gonna be about winning the side lanes, and it's gonna be about how do they deal with this Huskar. OD is gonna have to jungle at some point. I assume once you get level 3, you're gonna have to jungle, and you're gonna have to, you know, hope for the best. And the vessel, which is gonna be a very key item on the Conquer, because without the vessel, it's gonna be very, very hard for them to kill the Huskar. But I'm expecting the vessel to come early, because Conquer is gonna have a good lane.
It's gonna be the battle horn sounds or RR. Both teams gonna get those equal amount of bounty rune, 2 for each team. So we're definitely looking at the Pango support. Yep, Pango support in the bot lane. So Huskar against OD mid.
Yeah, bottom lane is just gonna be a wash. The Underlord is gonna cast his nuke at the first wave, and Pango is gonna pull the wave. That's the best way for them to deal with it. You wanna force them to last hit under the tower while you get your level 2. I think once they get higher levels on the Underlord will be able to lane against the Void without too many issues.
Just got an atrophy aura, and then the Void just can't really trade. But
Yeah.
Alacrity taking a lot of burning spears. That's 5 stacks.
Yeah, this is not a fun lane for OD. It's like eventually it's gonna be very, very hard. Level 3 is when the lane becomes very, very difficult for the OD. The first 2 levels I feel like still manageable, reasonable, and depend on how many creeps get denied whatsoever.
Matchday is not afraid to play aggressive. Likely hitting level 2 first though, so does have the equilibrium. He's gonna walk forward with the Astro. Meanwhile, Nuts against Lawless Shay. That's gonna get the Scatter Blast. First blood for the Snapfire.
Yeah, I guess it was just some mistake there by the Pango, playing too aggressive. Stuff like this is usually doesn't really happen at level 1, since both of them have very little kill potential on each other. In top lane we see the same as well. There won't be much kill potential with the Rubik and Conquer until they get more levels. And so far, Huskar is actually getting dominated in the last hit department.
Yeah, two last hit, 2 denies for Huskar compared to 9 to 4. So Alacrity with the Astro Imprisonment definitely doing a lot of work. But Lawless again trying to go for the pull. Nuts is there to disrupt that. They kind of freeze out the lane a bit for the Void.
Yep, they kind of want to always use the nuke from the Underlord, the Firestorm, to push out the wave, so they have the creep equilibrium going on for them, because Void doesn't clear out the creep wave very quickly. So you have to abuse that fact and push and pull the waves.
Yeah, but so far Nuts has been keeping in check with the Pango trying to pull the wave as well. So RR constantly having that equilibrium just in the right place under that tower.
This is not looking good for this 22nd pick Huskar. He's losing his lane really, really badly right now.
He's not able to get much last hits in as well, so...
Yeah, the OD has been using his Astro really well in terms of helping him get and deny creeps in the lane. But like I said, the lane will only start to tip in the Huskar's favor when he starts from level 3.
So right now Alacrity is banking in the level advantage as well. I think Underlord just went for a Soul Ring just to constantly clear out the wave. So far, Matchday hitting level 4, getting the level advantage over OD.
Yep.
Finally.
And the braces arriving will definitely give him a decent edge in the laning phase.
This is where things start getting scary for Alacrity. Not able to go for those trades. Still want to secure that range creep, managing to do so, but Matchday should be pretty fine as OD starts running dry in mana department.
Yep, and he right now has level 4, so he has that 1 point in the disarm to help him deal with the OD. So I think overall this is when the Huskar is going to start to regain some control on the lane. And the OD, depending on how you get to control the creep wave, if the Huskar is able to hold the creep wave on the high ground, then the OD has to start considering jungling.
Well, the Soul Ring does come in for Warmy, and he can constantly cast the Fire Blast. But Drew is going on to him, Fire Blast drops down, no bash is coming out, and RR don't want to commit to that.
Yep, this lane is just like a wash right now. Oh, they're gonna try to be aggressive. No
Cookie
mana.
into a Time Lock, Scatter Blast, so much damage, Warmy's not gonna make it out. She did went for the Swashbuckle and he gets bashed again. There's Time Dilation on top of him, one last hit from Drew would do the job. Just need to get close. No Swashbuckle available. It's going to be a slow chase.
He wants to kill the courier. He probably should have just killed the courier.
Yeah, I think he wanted to. They wanted to use the courier to body block him or something.
Yeah,
But
that's why like Snapfire is very very strong in the lane. He has a lot of kill potential, and you don't expect it sometimes with the Cookie, and you just play aggressive and you just die. You know.
Oh, can you get the courier? One more hit. Get it. But at least he did buy time, and he denied himself.
Alright. So bounty rune spawning. Seems like Radiant's gonna get 4 runes.
Hustler with the Fable is going to reduce the damage of Stargazer. Should kill XY safety. They do have the Torrent though, doesn't connect.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower
at
is
least
under
RR
attack.
not losing too much in that in those exchanges. Now Womi's just going to try and cut the wave.
Yeah, but the things are going really well for them so far. OD is not losing mid very hard. They're winning the side lanes. Void is farming. Kunkka is farming.
Oh, into a Cookie, Scatter Blast, they need a few more right clicks. The disarm is here, Mamang Daya turning back with the flaming burning spears, but not enough. Alacrity with Nuts help gets the kill.
I think he was a bit hesitant there. I think if he started to fight right away, he probably would have been able to kill the OD. He was gonna die regardless, so he needed to try to take the OD with him.
That's close shave for Alacrity, but definitely the lane should have gone in Mamang Daya's way, but OD came out way better than expected. So now the stacks are coming through. They want Stargazer to get those farms as well, but I don't think Mamang Daya would be phased as the Huskkiee.
Yeah, this is going very well for Radiant. They're winning all their lanes, and the lane they're not supposed to win, they are also winning. So I think overall they are really happy with the current situation they are in. And you see the catapult wave right now pressuring the tower.
They lose Wami, but use the X mark on Stargazer. And then to Fate Bolt, not enough to kill Stargazer, but we do have a slight changes and just to do some settings, adjust some settings. But we do see Wami, I believe getting killed again.
Yeah, overall Radiant is really happy with what's happening the first 5-6 minutes of the game. All lanes are going really well for them. OD is not getting crushed. His CS is not the highest, but this is the matchup where the Huskkiee should be on top and the OD should be bottom. But right now he's doing like a 50-50 CS in terms of against the OD, against the Huskkiee. So all in all, it's really really good for him.
Meanwhile, Wami is just gonna start to cut those waves and get those farms in. He does have the Soul Ring to work with. Attempt to kill off KYXY didn't work out, and now Wami is kind of trapped.
Radiant's
Does get the courier though. That is the threats that belongs to Drew, and he's just gonna Wild Rift out. He's just gonna
Radiant's
use the
bottom
Dark Rift out.
tower is under
There you go.
attack.
Yep, just being annoying and utilizing the spell early. Sometimes you see players, they don't really take the Dark Rift at level 6. They choose to delay it, and it doesn't allow you to do stuff like this, you know, go behind, get a wave. Like whatever you can get as an offlaner right now, because you're left alone, your support wants to roam. It's pretty crucial about towards your mid game, whatever you get. So that was like a good move for him.
Yeah, and Alacrity is actually really having a good time. Huskkiee is the one in the jungle. That's supposed to happen, but
Yep.
Alacrity
He's making way for the Pango to farm and get experience, because the Pango can't really gank top right now. He's too low level and there's nothing for him to do in the bottom lane.
Alacrity now having the lane all to himself. They get the torrent though onto the Sven, but Stargazer is the Sven. They just want to annoy the Sven a bit.
Yep, Kunkka is gonna pop his level 6 in like 1 more minute. It's gonna give them kill potential. They do have the chrono up already, and OD as his ultimate. So it depends on where they want to bring the heroes and bring the numbers.
Oh, they're looking for UK though. The torrent does miss, but they catch vision of him. Scatter Blast from Nuts is there as well. Live into a cookie stun. KYXY claims the kill.
Yep, there's a good rotation towards the top lane here, because they realize the Void doesn't really need any more babysitting from the Snapfire. He's already more than capable of soloing the lane. So Snapfire makes the correct move, goes top, joins in with the Kunkka, gets the kill, and now prepares for the 10-minute bounty to spawn on top. So just good moves overall.
Firestorm also stolen by Rubik as well. I think you did mention earlier that Firestorm does mess with army geniuses a bit. because of the clear potential. And I think Army Geniuses, they're not considering a lane swap there. TP Warmy to the top lane.
Yeah, they're planning to fight the runes soon.
She takes a scatter blast in the face. Alacrity is there as well, so I don't think Army Geniuses want to fight, but they might have no choice. The boat and the torrent in the X mark. The bandage comes out. Boat misses, but doesn't matter. Army Geniuses lose 2 in that exchange, and they lose the bounty ring.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The last one was 4-0 to Reality Ray favor. Oops. Didn't really get the trajectory correctly, but still gonna be okay with the bounty runes. I guess this is gonna be 2 apiece this time instead of the 4-0 at the 5-minute mark. Outpost, didn't really see the outpost.
Triple bash from the void. Time war chrono.
Wow, he really hates that guy, yeah? He's a chrono for support. Oh no, +1 right now.
Astro, they have the lift. Torrent, yeah, there's no way Warm is dead. He's dead. Swashbuckle does come in for the disarm, but his time walk. Rolling Thunder, Lawlessy really wants to get something in return.
Stolen roll though. He's gonna be able to use it to
Let's see,
fight.
Alacrity?
Middle tower
No.
is under attack.
Oh, they just didn't have the numbers here. But at the same time,
Structures are fortified.
they kind of have like a lineup which had a hard time in the lane, so it's a lot more difficult for him to defend their towers this way.
Oh no!
He's level 5, not even level 6.
He just TPs into a complete ambush. There you go, the stolen Rolling Thunder. Here comes someone die, but into an OD out, and he's just gonna die. No
Oh,
armlet
armlet.
toggle.
Armlet.
Can he toggle more? Here comes the boat though. Toggle again, makes it out. That's going to be Lawlessy against KRXY. This Pango is going to buy a bit time. Gets the disarm, but he does have the torrent and the Urn. KRXY is going to burst him down with the Tidebringer. And Mamandaya does make it out. Great arm the toggle, and KRXY should survive as well.
I think he actually is just gonna die. He can't really TP. Oh no, never mind. He doesn't have the pit.
Oh, nuts. Killing off Mamandaya. Great torrent. KRXY makes it out, but Mamandaya takes Hustler with him.
Wait, the Huskkiee died?
Dire's middle
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
Died to the scatter blast.
No, I think he was just.
Wait, Mortimer's kisses.
I think he was just chasing for a kill. I didn't think he would die after that. But you see the first timing of the
Dire's
Huskkiee
middle
there,
tower is
armlet.
under attack.
And this is considering that he actually had a bad start in the game. He got killed early on in the lane, got dominated in terms of the CS, 1v1 against OD, but he still had a really big impact in that fight just because of the armlet toggling.
Yep, and at the same time, Stargazer, Master of Madness, top of the last hit department. Just want to constantly farm, but the Stolen Firestorm is just giving Hustler so much resources to get his own income.
To the wind.
But Army Genius is sitting at a 4k deficit, 13 kills to 2.
It's a fun game to be Rubik. Look at their heroes. There are so many things you can steal or want to steal. It's like a dream Rubik game, you know? Pango roll, Swashbuckle, the stun from Sven. Huskkii's ultimate is also a big spell for you to steal later in the game. Underlord, Firestorm, we've been talking about it a lot. And the Wyvern, the nuke and the ulti are even the co-embrace is actually a decent steal for the Rubik.
Even the Pit of Madness, his amplification for the disables. This makes everything look so much better. But here we go, the 5 minutes of Mamandaya just dancing with death. Great armor toggle, managed to avoid the boat, and both times when he armor toggle, the urn was actually on him, so pretty commendable right there. Able to slightly salvage the fight, but it's just battle of the Firestorm now.
I want to try to see him doing it
Dire's top tower
against the
has
vessel.
fallen. Radiant
Yeah, that would be a
structures
lot
are
harder. I
fortified.
think the Konka is almost closing into his vessel, or maybe he already has it. I think he's probably gonna have it relatively soon. And OD here gonna get spot out.
Oh, Swashbuckle does miss. Mamandaya not in range for the life break.
Yep, a failed attempt there with the rotation. They wanted to move towards the bottom tier 1 and place some
Dire's top
observer
tower
wards in
is
the
under
jungle.
attack.
And this Wyvern is stuck. Arctic Wind ran up.
You can actually get stuck at spot.
Yeah.
Okay, you learn something new every time.
Radiant's
I
bottom
didn't
tower
realize there's
is
actually
under
a
attack.
like a pocket land for you to get stuck.
Oh, they see the Mortimer's kisses. She is there, but Nuts knows. He smells the
In the
Pangolier.
mid lane, They're actually gonna jump on the Underlord
Cold
here.
Embrace. Here comes Lackery. He's gonna Astro the Winter Wyvern so that there's no Cold Embrace. But here comes the Chrono. Winter Curse is used, but the Firestorm stolen by Huskkiee is gonna make sure that they die. Mamang Daya with the Light Break, not able to use the Honor Toggle. Gonna lose 2. She might be the 3rd though. The Wind Thunder does run out. Winter Wyvern will go down. And RR they will take 3 kills.
Yep. Rubik got the curse there and he was able to negate the Rolling Thunder. So the Pango wasn't able to do anything to save his teammates. Just pretty clinical stuff here for R, doing everything correctly and just making the plays to allow them to secure the team fights and increase their lead here. And Stargazer gonna just manage to get away.
Going for the Sanjin Yasha. Sanjin Yasha queued up. RR 15 minutes in. We're having a 9k massive lead. Army Geniuses, their plan to snowball didn't really work out. 15-minute bounty rune, everything going over to RR once more.
I mean, it's all about this last pick, you know, because the way their draft is going to function is just going to be relying on the Huskkiee. They have this like somewhat greedy tri-core, and because they are on second pick, they had to pick their lanes first, so they were up against disadvantage matchup in the core-to-core lane. So Huskkiee has to win the lane, but he didn't really win his lane. And you are this 22 pick, so there's a lot of pressure on you to do well in the game for a team, because the other players are gonna not have a better game than you. But because the Huskkiee actually lost his lane, he actually made the whole strategy collapse.
And now, do they pin it on the Sven to farm out? Oh, he's actually going for the Halberd.
Yeah, that's quite a good item against the OD, but he still needs the BKB to fight. Like without BKB, he's not gonna do much in the team fights.
He's the only one keeping up in terms of net worth. It's just slightly lagging behind Alacrity, but clearly see that Army Geniuses, they just want to play as safe as they can. Gives Stargazer the front that he needs.
Yeah, they are in a very passive spot right now. Can't really initiate too much, more about reacting and trying to push out the creep waves. And you see this Snapfire, he has so much confidence as a position 5 to run up. Look at where he's farming. He's like just way up the river near the tower 1. Like, it shows you how dominant Radiant is in this game at the moment. Even the position 5 has a mech.
Yeah, it's not far away from the creeps as well.
Yeah, that's why the hero, despite the nerfs on the kiss, the damage, he's still very, very strong. He provides you so much in the game.
We'll see if RR responds to this. They're bringing in the OD and the Rubik Yos get to slow down Stargazer. Winter's Curse, stolen one. Here comes Rolling Thunder. Laulashi is there. He's going to get Huskkiee, but great Chrono. Another Winter's Curse, but this time Monimus Kiss has come out. Do they have the Cold Embrace? No, OD's dropped the hammer. The Monimus Kiss is going to kill Stargazer. Huskkiee secures it with the Fate Bolt. And now only the Cold Embrace comes out, but they have the Maelstrom. The boat is there from KOXY. Scattered by finishes off the Winter Wyvern. And this Pango will have nowhere to go. They have the Vessel onto him. He still crashes over the wall and dies. 3 more kills for RR.
And what's actually going on? The Huskkiee and the Underlord was actually at middle lane. And so as the fight starts, wow, they almost got him. As the fight started, they just went into Roshan. I'm not sure what the other teammates were doing initially. If they did this move in sync together, I would understand it more, but the Huskkiee only went into the Roshan after his teammate died, so this is a very, very strange move right now, and they're gonna see him with the Observer Ward here. X-Mark gonna follow up.
Oh, here comes the Huskkiee. Womi called out again. You have the Frost Staff on Lackery, and it's gonna burst him down. Essence Swing buys a bit more time, but Haze on the Hustler and Astral Banishment. The Sun is there though. Womi staying alive, but you have the Firestorm stolen as well. Here comes another Rolling Thunder from Laulashi. He actually commits to the ult. They really want to fight. No ultimates for Winter Wyvern. And the Astral to save Hustler. Mamang Daya thinking about it. Swashbuckle, Life Break, Firestorm use the Huskkiee, keeping Hustler alive, and Mamang Daya dies. Hustler still somehow surviving. X marks the spot, not able to keep him alive. But they do get their hands on UK. And this dragon will be staying. Winter's Curse, by a bit more time. Lil Shredder from Nuts kills him off. Well, at least he gets a double kill. They kill off Alacrity. Wami in a good spot as well. Pops the pipe. Another Huskkiee coming in. Stargazer is there. Has the halberd to disarm Drew for now. Keeping a Warcry shield.
Yep, the Wyvern's ultimate was a saving grace there. Able to take the kill on the OD. Here once again we see another fight.
Ooh, another cookie, and here comes the bolt. Stargazer has overcommitted. Molimus Kisser is going to give them the kiss of death. Stargazer trying to run away, but it's Drew who will keep on top of him. Nuts on the mega kill streak, and Lawlessly slowed down by the flames. Not enough damage from the Snapfire, but more than enough to win our other fight.
They didn't really have much in the tank anymore because the Pango didn't have roll. Curse was used, so that's their main actual team fight. The rest of the heroes don't really provide much in terms of like 5v5 clash.
Surprised they even attempted to go for
I
that.
think the Roshan was pretty low before, right?
Yeah, it was like 40%. I was surprised that Army Geniuses decided to take that fight. Now KYXY is near to his halberd. And he gets that halberd, it will be even harder for Stargazer to do anything. But yeah, KYXY sends Illusion into the Roshan pit just to keep it in check.
I think if Radiant gets the Rosh, the game is just like over for Dire. That's their last straw. They have to secure the Roshan for the Huskkiee to have at least a chance in this game.
And now it's just 12k goal lead for RR. They are having an amazing game so far, and it seems like Army Geniuses, they are, like you mentioned, their key condition to win the game is completely crippled by Reality Rift.
I mean, this is why you don't really want to draft that. Yeah, sure, it's a good last pick for the lane, but you don't want to draft that gives you only one way of winning the game, and you don't really have other methods of trying to secure something for your team. It's a very one-dimensional draft. They're throwing all their eggs into this Huskkii's basket. That's why it became so difficult when he lost his lane.
Right now, Mjolnir will be the next item for Drew. He also has a fresh BKB as well, and it's going to make things even harder for Army Geniuses. And they're just playing super passive. They are just trying to secure the
yeah, what they have to do is like they have to try to bait out a fight. Huskkiee stands in front. Hang on, Pango.
They see the Pango. Pango is going out. Blink Dagger from Huskkiee, fresh out of the oven. Now Drew on a killing spree. No Pango for 30 seconds. Pango is actually like not even 3k net worth.
The way they have to win the fight is like they have to bait out with the Huskkiee. He stands in front. They try to drop Chrono, X-Mark combo on him, and the Pango and the Wyvern comes in with their spells and smoke.
Oh no, not in range. Alacrity is going to force time himself away. So Army Genius is completely botching that smoke. They just have to back off. But
yeah, but still, they were only 4 heroes. You know, it might have been good.
Oh, gets a good Chrono.
X-Mark.
X-Mark, and they bring the Underlord back. Molimus kisses. Drew gets this arm. Mamang Daya trying to fight this out on the toggle, but he's not going to be able to toggle through that Astro. Army Geniuses, what can they do? Here comes the Rolling Thunder, but it's too late. Not enough damage to kill off the OD. UK will just have to buy time. Doesn't matter though. Alacrity with the Arcane Orb finishes him off. RR with 3 more kills. Yeah, and GG.
They can't really do much anymore. They're way past their timing with the Huskkiee. It's like I felt like the game is just literally over when the Huskkiee lost his lane, because that's how their draft works. You know, you can't really expect the side lanes to do better than they did. I'm sure they had some errors in the laning phase. They gave away some kills, but I felt like overall everything was just hinging on this Huskkiee doing well in this lane, because they sacrificed everything in the draft just so that they could last pick this Huskkiee to counter the lane, but it didn't really work out for them.
Yeah, and I think the Huskkiee, and then they picked the Sven 4th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that draft to work, because it's greedy, right? You have this Underlord off lane which is going to take a lot of farm. Sven is also going to take a lot of farm, and Huskkiee generally you don't really rotate. You're just going to win your lane, and your team is going to move around you and play around you to take the towers, take the Roshan, and so and so. You know, everything is going to be around the Huskkiee. So when he doesn't win his lane, the plan just cannot function.
And it's pretty evident RR destroyed them in 22 minutes. And also I think RR, I feel like this is like their strong point, right? Early on they make all this good rotation. Thankfully the game didn't drag out long enough. I think they have not been put to the test just yet.
Yeah, they are just the better team in this series, this game so far. From the laning phase to rotations to vision and understanding about when you should take the objectives and defend your towers, they're just a class above their opponents in the first game.
Yeah, and Army Geniuses, they definitely have a lot to work on. But if you look back at Game 1's draft, if it's not for the Huskkiee, what would be the alternative for Army Geniuses? What would be the alternative direction?
Not very sure though. I just didn't like the overall sequence of heroes. But I felt like the major issue wasn't even the draft. It was about how they played the game, how they played the lanes, how they moved in the game. Cause the things that they were doing in the game were actually not really that great. They were not making the right moves. Cause the game Dota is like a game where when two teams play and say you get an even draft, it's gonna be about who does more correct stuff in the game, who's gonna make the correct moves. That team is gonna be gaining an advantage in the long run. But this game is like everything the Dia has been doing is like quite questionable, and the lanes were lost as well. So everything becomes really difficult on top of that.
Yep. There we go. The endgame results. Nothing much can be said. It's just Reality Rift steamrolling through Army Geniuses, only dropping 4 kills, 4 deaths. 2 on Lucky, 2 on Hustler, but the rest was just history. Last pick couldn't come from KRXY as well. They provided them with what they need. Doesn't feel like Army Geniuses ever have a footing, right? Like you mentioned, after Huskkiee lost his lane, which shouldn't have ever happened.
Yeah, maybe if it's closer, but it was just like the first 3 creep waves, he just totally got dominated by the OD. It's just a personal skill problem.
Yeah, actually, how would you kind of lane against that? Let's take a look at the feature player while we go more in depth into that topic. It's going to be Drew this time on the Faceless Void. And Chrono has been amazing and perfect synergy with the Monimous Kisses as well. But I think some people do struggle with the Astro, right? You get Astro, you miss out the last hits. How do you kind of like deal with
That lane you cannot play to last hit against OD. You have to just play to trade damage, because if you last hit, the OD's Astro is going to gain an advantage for him, because he's just going to put Astro you and just deny the creeps. So the mindset when you go into the lane is always going to be, I'm just going to try to trade and do damage to you, because that's what you want with the Burning Spear.
Yeah.
The moment you try to think, I want a last hit, I want to try to deny, that's when the OD is going to get the upper hand. And on top of things, he's not going to be able to take too much damage. Because when you are thinking of harassing him, yeah sure, he's still going to prison you, he's still going to get the last hit, but you are doing damage to him, so that's at least a return. There's something being gained for the Huskkiee. But if you just focus on last hitting and he's just going to prison you, and you're going to lose the deny anyway, and you're not doing damage to him, then the lane is pretty much gone.
it just by itself trade?
Yeah, you have to focus on trading and accept the fact that he's going to get creeps. He's going to deny the creeps with the Astro, and you are going to try to gain an advantage by doing damage to him when he tries to do that.
Yep. And well, that's pretty much the story for game number 1. Nothing much can be said. It was a flawless game by Reality Rift, but Army Geniuses, they are not out of this just yet. We're gonna go into game 2 shortly, but before that we'll take a break and we'll be